What's up, positive bitches? How are we doing today? If you're hearing this episode, you are meant to be here, so keep listening. Today is going to be somewhat of a rant. Jazz hand, yes. It has been brought to my attention by one of you beautiful, positive bitches that there is a YouTube video by someone called Miasaurus, I believe. And this is nothing against her at all. She's honestly like such a cute human. Not about her, but it's about the content in the video. She has created a video called Divine Femininity. I can't even say the title because my throat chakra is like, don't say it, Cece. But I'm going to say it for the sake of this video. I don't think this, I'm reading a title. Divine Femininity is just misogynistic, pick-me garbage. Are we doing this again? Again? How many times in history are we going to try to take the divine feminine down? How many times? Where is the stake? Where is the fire? Where are we burning the divine feminine at the stake once again? This has happened time and time again, and I believe during COVID 2020, there was a resurgence of divine feminine energy onto planet Earth, Mother Gaia, when we were all forced to go into our homes and reflect and just be. No more human doing, but human being. A lot of us had to look inward. A lot of us had to be still. Some of us realized this is not where I want to live. Some of us realized this is not the right relationship for me. Some of us realized I just need fucking therapy. And all of that is us activating our divine feminine energy. Us looking inward. And instead of listening to all the external voices that we always listen to, our mother, our father, our sister, our friend, instead of listening to all those external voices, for the first time really, for a lot of us, we were forced to sit and listen in to our own self. Throughout history, they've been trying to shun the divine feminine because, honestly, the divine feminine is such a powerful force. Before we get into all of the details that I just cannot wait to rant about, a couple of announcements as always. If you're not yet following me on Instagram, be sure to follow me at Vibin with Cece, where you will get daily tips and tricks on all things of how to master your magnetic energy, how to find your voice, ultimately how to be a babe in total connection with yourself. You can also follow me on TikTok at Vibin with CC again. In both of my bios, you can find the 21-day breakup glow up challenge, which you can join and learn how to deepen your connection with yourself, how to date yourself, how to place yourself on the pedestal. You really don't have to be going through a breakup in order to take it, but if you are going through a breakup, it will definitely enhance your coming back home hero story. I will be your built-in breakup BFF and guide you every single day throughout 21 days for you to find yourself and to find your glow up. You can also add on to that purchase or get it separately, the Calling Your Power Back workbook, which if you are dating, this is a must. If you think about it, soccer players have soccer coaches, basketball players have basketball coaches. If you're dating, you need some sort of dating information. What are the rules? How do we practice? So I will be, through a workbook, your dating coach. And this is a digital workbook. You can use it on any platform, and it's super helpful to understand how you're energetically chasing, why, and of course, I give you a special 3-step process on how to stop so you can align with whoever it is you want in your little beautiful, amazing reality. If you're looking for high vibrational music, you can look up Angel Energy on any platform you listen to music to. If you're looking for coaching that's a little bit more intimate, you can DM me on Instagram at Vibing with Cece, and I can talk there to you about how I can help you expand, get connected with yourself, and ultimately close the gap between where you are right now and where you wish to be. Without further ado, let's get into today's episode. In history, we all know it. They've been trying to shut down the divine feminine. Now, according to Jake Woodward, or Woodard, either one, his name is Jake. He says about 80% of women lead with their divine feminine. So it has been targeted, the shutting down of our power has been targeted towards women, but every single person, doesn't matter what gender you lead with, every single person has the divine feminine energy within them. Man, woman, whatever, doesn't matter. You have the divine feminine within you. About 80% of women lead with their divine feminine. So let's just understand that first. In history, people really weren't talking about that. During the Industrial Revolution, no one was like, oh, what's your divine feminine energy doing? Hee hee ha ha. That wasn't the conversation. Especially not here anyway. So traditionally, the divine feminine has been seen as something that women have, but really everybody has it. We all have it. We all have divine feminine and we all have divine masculine. Throughout the ages, there have been wounded masculines who have seen the power of the divine feminine and therefore wanted to shut it down. What's an example of this? Mary freaking Magdalene. She was perceived as Jesus's girlfriend, very close friend, almost wife, we can say, possibly a wife actually. She was the closest person to Jesus. And this is not about what religion you are, what spiritual practice you do. This doesn't matter. This is information you need to understand. Mary Magdalene, so close to Jesus. They were like best buds, chilling, relaxing. And what happened was she got most of Jesus's information because she knew him so well and spent so much time with him. She really was in a close vibration to Jesus himself. The Bible, we know, it was written by people who are at a lower vibration, and so they didn't completely understand everything Jesus was trying to portray. For example, if a surgeon was like, hey, Cece, write down everything I say during this surgery that I'm about to do, I would be able to write most of it down, kind of, but I wouldn't be able to understand it and write it perfectly because I'm not at his same vibration. I don't understand the information that I would need to know to copy down everything he's saying perfectly. Same thing with Jesus. So as the Bible got passed down, as people were reading it, they were writing it out at a lower vibration. And then I believe it was at the Council of Nicaea, King Henry and his mother Catherine just decided they don't like reincarnation. So they're like, fuck it, take it out. That's not it. Okay, sis? And so they took it out. And they were trying to unify Christianity forever because there were so many different strands because so many people perceived it in different ways. Long story short, Mary Magdalene had many writings on exactly what Jesus said, and they tried to burn it down, I believe, 7 times. So there's a lot of writing from Mary Magdalene that is lost because it got lost in one of the freaking fires when they were trying to burn it down. Another thing, King Henry, Council of Nicaea, another thing they decided on is that they don't want women being able to be priestesses or priests or lead the church. So they just made the rule up of you have to be a male. What does this have to do with the divine feminine? The divine feminine has been seen as a threat through the eyes of wounded masculine energies. And when the wounded masculine understood how much power the divine feminine had, What's up with their intuition? They're able to birth babies out from another dimension? What the fuck is that all about? When they're realizing what we're capable of, a regular awakened masculine wouldn't have a problem with it. They would be our other half. They would do the things that maybe we're not having strengths in. But a weak masculine energy, which was where the planet was at, think about it. When we were all killing each other, the planet was at a very low vibration. You think it's low now? Ooh. It was even lower then. So they had a very low vibrational, wounded masculine view of what the divine feminine was. And so instead of empowering the divine feminine and seeing her as she truly is, they decided to shut her down, shun her, burn the Mary Magdalene Gospels. No woman can be a leader in the church. Oh, she's a witch. Burn her at the stake. I don't want to see history repeat itself, and I'm not saying it would to this extent, but it could be repeated via the vicious cycle of the media. Because we all know what the media loves to do. They absolutely love clickbait. They love to make things just fucking false. That's all that there is to it. If you think people are writing for you, they're not, okay? Journalists, most of them, not all of them. There's some very amazing journalists who are after the truth and really do want to spread awareness. But most of these huge publishing companies, they are after money, not after the truth. So whoever's going to fill their pockets, that's who they're going to write for. Anyway. My whole entire point is I don't want to see the divine feminine be completely crushed because we've just finally now been reactivating her again. We're talking about her. We're connecting to her. We're feeling her. We're being with her. We're allowing ourselves to connect instead of being constantly distracted by the 3D world. And to then see someone like Miosaurus, who's a totally cute human being, nothing against her, but she's just not fully understanding the scope of what the divine feminine is. To see someone who doesn't understand the full picture talk shit about it is disheartening. It is just disheartening. I will say, she watched a video of Teal Swan during her reaction, and that is not someone I personally really resonate with. So I don't know if that's why also she didn't have the best perception of it. If you've not seen, there is a documentary about Teal Swan on, it was like Oxygen, or let's find out actually. Teal Swan documentary. Okay, it was called The Deep End, and you can watch it on Hulu. I'm not going to say anything about her. Just go look for yourself. It's called The Deep End on Hulu. And the way she operates is not something I resonate with. And the way she talks about certain topics, I do not resonate with. So with that being said, I'm just going to move on from that topic now. Anyway, divine femininity, the divine feminine, the dark divine feminine, the light divine feminine, is not misogynistic pick-me garbage. It's a universal energy in which we all have that we can use to empower ourselves. I have a plethora of divine feminine podcasts, so definitely go back and look through those. You can just search That Bitch is Positive Divine Feminine and they will come up. But a quick recap in case we're forgetting or we're just a little bit confused about what the dark feminine and the light feminine and just what the freaking feminine is. So I like to separate the divine feminine into the light, the dark, and the wounded. The light divine feminine is all about being, just existing, not reading so that you can get 100 on a test, reading because you want to read, drinking tea because you want to drink tea. It's about knowing that we can flow with the seasons because everything is one. We allow ourselves to feel our emotions instead of just focusing on external action. We trust ourselves. We are expressive. We are creative. We are the masters of creativity. The divine feminine is the master of creativity, and she's the creator of all cycles. She's on her pedestal. She's magnetic. She does not chase. She attracts. She nurtures herself. When she feels her inner child's aching, she gives her inner child love and psychological nutrition. She surrenders to the season because she knows if this season isn't it, if she's not loving this season, the next one will be better. Because nothing is permanent, everything is temporary, and everything is constantly flowing, moving, and transitioning. And the divine feminine, I see the divine feminine as the water. It's always moving, and the divine masculine as the rocks, the riverbed that the water flows through. The divine masculine is the structure, and the divine feminine is the lively energy that flows through the home. The divine feminine is not in any sort of negative way. When there's a healthy divine feminine, there's nothing negative about it. There just simply isn't. I think some people see the word surrendered or more so passive, and they're like, oh, that's traditional gender roles and that's bad and that. Oh my God. Can we get over ourselves? Like, come on. Can we move past that now? Like, get over it. Let's move on forward. And let's just think about this like, rational little humans, because we can do that. We got to get over some of the stuff. We need to move forward and not be so stuck on, well, this is a traditional gender role, and if you do that, you are not a feminist. That is just dog shit, okay? It just is. If you are a true feminist, that just means you support the woman doing whatever she is that she wants to do. That's it. That's it. So if she wants to be a stay-at-home mom, she does that. If she wants to be CEO, she can do that. And neither of these are not being a woman. Both of these are using our divine feminine energy, just in different ways. And when I say surrender, I mean, surrender to the freaking universe. You don't have to control everything, because that's when you get into your wounded masculine. There are times with my boyfriend that I surrender purposely because I don't want to have to control everything. AKA, if I want to go on a date, I'll be like, hey, can you plan us a date? Can we go out to some dinner place? Can you make us a reservation? Can you, like, whatever. And that is me surrendering to him doing it because I don't want to take care of everything. Hello? No. I like to think that women should be treated the best out of literally any person on the planet. And if you're not a woman, I am sorry. Better luck next time. But that is just simply not my fault and not my problem. Anyway, so we get it. Do we get it? I think we get it. That's the light divine feminine. Then we have the dark divine feminine, which is the destroyer of all cycles. And that means destroying cycles that are no longer serving us. That means cutting off people who are literally blatantly toxic. It means ending that cycle with that fuckboy. It means putting up boundaries with people who keep crossing us. You have to not only put up that boundary, but adhere to that boundary after you put it up. That is what is allowing yourself to be in your dark divine feminine. Your dark divine feminine says it's okay to embrace what you've been told you can't. Your sexuality, yes, embrace it. Move those hips, girl, okay? Period. Those raging moments that you need to scream fuck into a pillow, do it. That is you embracing your dark divine feminine. Your dark divine feminine, however, is not misogynistic garbage pick me bullshit. as Miosaurus has said, that is a misperception of what the dark divine feminine, what the divine feminine in general really is. What Miosaurus was looking at and seeing was the wounded feminine. There are a lot of TikTok videos that say certain things that can be misperceived by the people watching it. So a lot of the videos that Miosaurus watched were like, do this and get any man ever that you want. There's like this, I've never actually seen this before, but apparently if you wear red nail polish, you will attract the guy that you want. I don't know that, but if you believe that, it will be in your reality by way of law of assumption. So, I mean, try it out. To me, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Use your power however you wish to use your power. That is up to you. I'm not here to tell you what to do. Just do no harm and, and take no bullshit. That's it. So, she was seeing that, that's manipulation. The dark divine feminine, the feminine in general is not manipulation. The wounded feminine can be manipulation. When we are codependent, we feel powerless. We want to manipulate others. We're maybe like super oversensitive, where we cannot operate with anybody in the world. I'm not just talking about like, I'm sensitive, I'm an empath. I'm talking you literally everywhere you go, you feel like there's spikes in your skin. That is the wounded feminine. We need to hear out our own emotions when we're shutting others out, when we feel unworthy, shameful, needy. That is the wounded feminine. And she was seeing some things that were portraying some wounded divine feminine traits, and she was thinking, this is how I'm perceiving it, I think she thinks that's the divine feminine, and it's not. You can do a lot of things with your divine feminine energy. You can attract someone. In fact, you fucking should. Like, hello, you have this power, you're not going to use it. That's like me saying, here's $100,000, but don't use it. Like, no, if you have capabilities and power, use it. You're not harming anyone. You're vibrating to your highest timeline. That is not harmful. The divine feminine is not manipulative. It's not just to get others to like you. It's not about other people. The divine feminine is about you expressing yourself, is about you putting yourself on the pedestal, is about you becoming magnetic because you're so plugged into yourself that no matter who comes in, no matter who comes out, I will be good. It's about understanding how you're projecting and how you're receiving energy. I make a lot of the videos that say, you can have anyone obsessed with you. Here's what to do. And every single one of those bullet points are all about taking your power back so you're magnetic. When you do that, you are like a light and everyone else is like a moth, and everybody else wants to go to your light. And then it's up to you to decide, who do I want in my life and who do I not want in my life? One of Miosaurus's points was, just be who you are. Like, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. First of all, some people want to learn how to become magnetic, and there's nothing wrong with that. I am a full supporter. I love being magnetic. I love teaching how to be magnetic, etc. Another thing I had an issue with is she's saying, just be who you are. Just be who you are. The fucking problem is that no one knows who they are. I won't say everyone. Here's what I'll say. Miosaurus is saying, just be who you are. But the problem is most people don't know who they are. They know the role that they created in order to get love and affection from their caregivers. And they have forgotten that they created this role at about the age of 7, 4, 5-ish. And they've never stepped out of this role. For me, I was so steeped in my divine masculine. I was trying to control everything. I was overworking myself. If I would listen to that and I would tell myself, just be who you are, just be who you are. But if I continued to just be who I was, I wasn't happy and I didn't know what was wrong. And so now it becomes sort of dangerous for us to say the divine feminine is misogynist, pick me garbage. No, it's not. It's a universal energy which all of us have within us, and how we use that energy can be a great advantage to our own life. And it's not about harming others. It's nothing to do with that. It's about placing ourselves on the pedestal and vibrating so high that we align with someone else who's in vibrational alignment. That is all it's about. If you think that you're just a people pleaser, you may never learn about the dark divine feminine and continue your life being miserable as a people pleaser. So no, I'm the first person probably to say, before you are just who you are, question the absolute shit out of who you think you are and make sure your identity feels good to you, and it's not just something that you created when you were 3 years old trying to get your parents' attention and then never stepped out from. Because for me, I always identified as the can-do girl, and I would do everything, and I would just blow past any obstacle, and every obstacle is really just a fun challenge for me to overcome. And that's all great, but when that is on overdrive, that is not fun. And that's what I was dealing with. So before you just blindly accept who you are, if you don't like your reality, if you don't like how you feel, if things aren't adding up for you, don't accept who you are. Question who you are and ask yourself, who is it that I wish to be? What do I want in my life? Do I want to attract rather than chase? Well, maybe then I have to listen to Vibing with Cece and call my power back. Put up some boundaries with my dark divine feminine. Make sure that I'm dating myself using my light divine feminine. Make sure that I'm using my creative abilities and being connected, again, using my light divine feminine. If I have built up rage and my inner child is going absolutely crazy, I need to tap into my dark divine feminine and allow myself to feel those lower vibrational emotions to let them out of my body. The point is, most of us do not know who we are. We are wearing a mask, we're playing a role, and then we're getting stuck in this and we're not progressing in our life. And then we see something like Miosaurus saying, oh, well, if you're starting to tap into yourself and get connected with yourself, it's misogynistic, pick me bullshit. And then that's going to stop you from really harnessing your own power. I'm just suggesting to you to question yourself, your identity, everything. And if you've been listening to me for a while, you probably already have, but also take everything with a grain of salt, including me. Take Miosaurus with a grain of salt, take me with a grain of salt, take Teal freaking Swan with a grain of salt. Not my cup of tea, but maybe there's a couple good things you can find. That's it. That is all it's about. The divine feminine is about fully embodying who you are, your sexuality, your shadowy emotions, your creative, your destroyer self. It's about becoming your most magnetic self. It's not about other people. Now, when you become your most magnetic self, will it affect how you feel with other people, how other people perceive you, how relationships unfold? Abso-freaking-lutely. So while the divine feminine starts out with being about you, it will of course affect everything in your reality. And if you're talking to a man, woman, whatever, whoever they may be, it's not about that other person, but it will eventually affect them because it's going to be affecting you. And when you shift internally, your whole entire reality shifts with you. And there's nothing wrong with looking at your reality and saying, wait a second, What is it that I don't like in this reality? Well, I don't like how my relationships are unfolding. Well, I'm not really loving how I'm being perceived. I don't feel like I'm attracting. I feel like I'm chasing. Looking at your reality is a great way to understand what's going on in your subconscious world and your inner reality. If you're like, Cece, I do not understand why, oh why, I keep having these horrible relationships. I keep getting side-chicked. I keep being the person that doesn't get his attention or her attention or whoever. There's nothing wrong with looking at your reality and saying, wait a second, I'm noticing a lot of things I don't like. Maybe what's going on is I have to tap into my divine feminine. Maybe what's going on is I'm too tapped into my divine masculine, or I'm in my wounded feminine and I'm so codependent and I'm so needy. And what I need to do is use my light and my dark feminine together to heal that wounded feminine back to the top of my pedestal. How do you do that? You allow your dark divine feminine to protect you, to destroy the cycles with people who are harming you, who are not doing you justice, who are being unkind to you. There was one DM that I got, and she was talking about making a podcast about situationships and men who act like your boyfriend. You play the girlfriend role, but they won't officially date you. It makes no sense to me. I know I deserve better, but can't seem to let go of hope and potential. See, if you listened to me, a source, you would have said, well, you know what? I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, just going to keep being me and keep getting sucky results, when you don't have to do that. This beautiful, positive bitch did the right thing. She's looking at her reality and she's saying, well, something is off. Your emotions are your guidance scale. If you don't like your reality, it's because it's not in alignment with you and something is just going a little bit vibrationally chaotic. So what we do is we say, okay, maybe I do have to look at my relationships, whoever they may be with, and start noticing I am always chasing. They're never officially dating me. So in this example of they won't commit to me, etc., what exactly would I tell you? Activate your dark divine feminine by clearly asking yourself first, what is it that I want? Okay, is this not what I want? Then how do I set up a boundary? You set up a boundary using self-talk. This is no longer serving me. This is what I want. If it doesn't work for you, that's fine, but I just need to know. The longer you permit the person to do whatever they want, the longer you're promoting it. And they're the ones who are happy, dandy, and fine. They don't care. You're the one who's unhappy, so you have to be the one to change what's going on in your reality. And you can do that by tapping into your inner world and activating this dark divine feminine energy. And this means, like I said, setting up a boundary, adhering to that boundary. It also means using your light divine feminine and allowing yourself to feel the emotions of whatever it is you need to feel. If you're not happy, allow yourself to sit there and cry or journal about it. Give yourself space to hear your own voice. Give yourself time to hear what you really feel and think about the situations in your life. If you can't let go of the potential you think they have, you need to write down a list of the pros and cons in present tense, in present day, not what they may be doing, the pros and cons of what they're doing right now. And then you need to look at this list with clear eyes, rationally, and say, is this worth it? What do I want? And when you tap into your divine feminine, remember what we said. It's about surrender and trust. If this person cannot give you what you want, it's because the universe is making room and trying to take this person out because there's someone else a better vibrational match for you who's trying to come in. And when we trust our divine feminine and we're tapped in and we're tuned out from the 3D world, which is seriously what we need to do sometimes, We can trust. I may not be able to see this next person, but the universe knows them and is setting it up. I might not be able to know their name and their personality and everything and how they're going to come through, but I don't need to know the how. All I need to know is what I want, or at least feel the emotions of the emotional experiences that I want. So if I want to feel safe and secure with a partner, I need to try to figure out how I can make myself feel safe and secure now so I can start attracting that partner. And that's you using your light divine feminine to create a new cycle. Simultaneously, your dark divine feminine is destroying the cycle that's no longer serving you. And by using both the light and the dark, you are becoming the protector and guardian of your wounded divine feminine, which would be the manipulation, the codependency, the neediness, the shame. That's all the wounded. But sometimes we grow up and our wounded feminine gets wounded and we grow up with that, and that's okay. It's not your fault if your divine feminine is wounded, but it is your responsibility to not just blindly accept it, but to start questioning and saying, well, what do I not like? What do I like? What do I want more of? And what do I want less of? Get curious about your incarnation, my lovely dear, because this is your life. And I want you to say, fuck whatever has happened to me, because my biography does not determine my destiny. Fuck that. I am giving back all the trauma I've ever had, sending back to the original sender, and I'm taking back my happiness, and I'm figuring out my own life by activating and embodying all the different aspects of myself, and not just being whatever it is I think I am, because what if I'm more? What if I'm more? What if I can have more? Start questioning how much you have and how much you can have. I'm not even kidding. Always be grateful for what you have, but question, what if I am more? What if I can have more? What if I can have a partner who does meet all of my needs, who does compromise with me, who can see my worth? What if that person exists? And if I can't see it right now, what if the universe is getting it aligned for me? Let's have positive assumptions for what's possible in our own life. I love you so much. As always, it was an honor to sit with you and have this podcast and this time together. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, if it resonated with you, please leave a positive review on Apple Podcasts and or Spotify, wherever you listen, wherever your listening home is, because it means the world to me. It helps this podcast. And if you don't want to do it for me, do it for you, girl. It's good karma anyway. And if you have any questions at all, DM me on Instagram. My DMs are always open. If you have any suggestions or personal questions that you want to be answered on the podcast, you, of course, can DM me and just say podcast question and let me know, and I will answer it here. I'm sending so much love, so much abundance, so much golden light that you're wrapped up in it like a little cocoon. The sparkle in me, as always, honors the sparkle in you, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah.
Can't touch me.